Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the XLNC Analyst Desk. Cam, thank you so much for sitting down to talk with Nelson and Rutledge. What were your thoughts? What were your big notes after coming away from that series? Do keep in mind, everyone, we are immediately getting in to Game 2 drafts, but I want to quickly wrap up that interview before we get into this.
Yeah, so like I mentioned before the interview, just in case someone came in the middle of it, is that interview was recorded before they took their Game 1 victory. Yeah. So they were already very confident going into Game 1, as you were able to see. And you were able to tell as well, I'm pretty sure Rutledge is their main shot caller, as he is the captain of the team on paper, as well as it seems in the game. As usually it is interesting to see that in the top laner player, and usually it is a jungler or support. And we're already in Game 2 here, and we did have an early Zhao pick.
Yeah, looking quickly at the bans, some may be wondering, Game 1 for Death Cards, a little interesting, their composition, now more getting back to what they're used to. Sterling back on the Diana, absolutely crushed it on this champion, going up against Divine Ascension. Obsidian last week on stream had some fantastic games, a 1v3 triple kill in the bot lane. He was playing out of his mind. Also, Patrick Jones getting his hands right back on the Lee Sin. He's not blind at all when playing the champion. He did super good. But CB Rush, boy, Cam, are they taking advantage of this Beastland substitution?
Absolutely. We are having the same exact bot lane here again from CB Rush locked in already with that Kalista and that Braum super early on. And with that Xin Zhao that I did mention earlier on is that they're mostly taking that away from Sterling. As he did say, as I mentioned a few times already, is that Xin Zhao's probably one of his most comfortable jungler picks in this current meta, even though there was an update literally today. But Xin Zhao's still a very strong jungler. Diana is definitely his second pick. So the fact that they again banned 2 ADCs and this time Kale in the first rotation is they're giving away Sterling his main picks. This game he is going to be on that Diana.
Yeah, funny enough, Cam, you were talking about the Xin Zhao pick a little bit. Death Cards Academy, they saw the jungle sub, quote, getting, or jungle sub getting really sent out. Acid, the main starter for CB Rush. And may I remind the viewers, the MVP from season 2, just one season ago, Acid was absolutely dominating the jungle on picks like Lilia. And in season 3 now of Mid League, he's made what seems kind of like a seamless transition to these other champions, still popping off in the league a little bit. CB Rush, though, they're going to be targeting the support for Death Cards Academy. Ooh, Cthulhu losing his Bard, as well as the Pike.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Pike is definitely a very good ban, as we have been seeing Uwu for Cthulhu really making those very good plays on that Pike. I think he found a triple kill on one of the dragon fights just in the last game alone, as I'm pretty sure he got at least one triple, if not a quadra, last week on stream as well. And he's going to be locking in that Karma for this team. That Karma could be flexing top lane potentially, but I am expecting that to probably be at least Sin top, so could be a Karma mid as well, but most likely is going to be going support for Uwu for Cthulhu.
And we've got a spicy matchup in the mid lane. Frosty, who kind of we were talking about while watching the game on the analyst desk, Cam. Throughout the first 20 minutes or so, I think he only had about 1 kill, 4 assists. And then the picks started coming through. The final sparks started hurting a lot more when 1-2 items were getting completed. And suddenly, Frosty, by the end of the game, had a 700 gold bounty on his head. Now gets one of his comfort champions in the Zoe. Rutledge getting his new Silas as well. This is going to be a really fun match for CB Rush.
Absolutely. Zoe is probably one of those more classic mid lane champions, especially in competitive, where if you are able to land that Sleepy Trouble Bubble, it's usually a one-shot potential for anyone on your team, but especially that Zoe. So it is going to be fun to see Frosty picking up that champion, as we did get to see him play that Lux in Game 1 so well. And we have this R5 Poppy that I'm very curious about.
It seems to have gotten some of our chat members, particularly the casters, Necrox and Icarus, getting real excited about getting to cast the Poppy in the top lane. Something Fugnuggler, I believe we saw last week from him, played super well on it. And I mean, into this composition. He's going up against the Xin Zhao, the Zoe, the Callista, the Silas. Everybody's got dashes, Cam. How excited are you to see Fug on this champion?
Absolutely. It's nice to see Fug on another, I don't want to say tank, but Poppy is kind of like a tank, but she can do a lot of damage if she is able to get ahead, and especially into a comp where you need to shut down this Callista. We saw how much trouble they had shutting her down last game in the early game, but then once she got to her late game stages, it took 4 people to kill her, and all 4 of them died just to kill that Callista. So hopefully, I do like this Poppy lock-in, especially for Fugnuggler. In the later stages of the game, he will probably be able to kill that Callista a lot easier.
Yeah, and even though Vigo was not banned or picked, same with Gwen, Death Cards Academy, honestly, in game number 1, it felt like they fell for the trap of trying to pull off Gwen and Vigo when they just really didn't look that comfortable on it, especially in the mid game when it came to managing team fights. Now you've got Fug on a huge comfort pick. You've got Sterling right back on the Diana. Death Cards Academy, I gotta think, Cam, especially going into this kind of squishy CB Rush composition, feeling a lot more comfortable, not to mention what I think is a bit better of a bot lane matchup with the Karma support into kind of the repeat, the salty run back for CB Rush. They were feeling themselves in the bot lane.
Yeah, definitely. I like the Karma pick a lot better than the Pike pick, especially into Braum, where Braum is just really a counter to engage champions, and the fact that they picked him so early on without getting to see that support yet was kind of showing that they have a little bit of faith in themselves, despite how much Braum can be punished, especially in lane, and especially by a champion like Karma, where she can do so much damage with that Mantra Q and even the Mantra W as well, landing that really nice root for her ADC to follow up on. It's really hard for Braum to play into that matchup, but we saw them pop off last game in a matchup that was favored for them, so this game in a matchup that's not as favored could be interesting to see if they're still able to pop up as hard as they were.
Exactly, and just for a little bit, Cam, I want to turn our attention to this mid lane matchup because it seems really similar, actually, from game number 1. Patrick back on kind of melee mid laner, deals AD damage. He's looking to go in and kind of pop off, similar to Vigo. But Lee Sin, you know, not as 200 years of experience, but still can be a little flashy going into yet another mage in Frosty's champion ocean of mid laners. What do you think about this matchup?
I think it's probably going to be relatively the same, where Frosty's probably not going to be able to find anything early on, unless he's able to land a nice Sleepy Trouble Bubble onto Lee Sin. But other than that, it's going to be pretty hard for him to do anything, whereas Lee Sin, if he lands a nice Q into a potential kick for his jungler to be there for assistance, it's a lot easier to find a kill, especially with help there for the Lee Sin pick.
And looking overall across both team compositions, I'm honestly thinking, Cam, that we have got a very exciting matchup in the jungle with Acid coming back in. This is not the CV Rush from last game with Coach Pizza in the jungle on that Zac pick. This is potentially the best jungler in all of mid league, hitting the Rift on Xin Zhao, going up against Sterling on one of his more comfortable champions. That's my lane matchup to watch, Cam. Which lane, excuse me, are you going to have your eyes glued to in this one?
I do definitely think that the jungle matchup is going to be very explosive. I think both of these junglers are really looking to set up those early ganks. Maybe less for the Diana. She has more of a spike at 6 than the Xin Zhao does, but both of them do have very, very strong early ganks, especially at that level 6 point. But if I am looking at a specific lane, I am probably going to be looking towards that bot lane once again, as if that Callista or that Kai'Sa gets super fed with the help of one of these super early game focused junglers, it's going to be very easy for either one of them to 1v9, as we did get to see that last game with that Callista pop off.
Yeah, is Gallicky Meep going to be able to refine some of his magic that he clearly showed he had in last week's show match when Death Cards took on Divine Ascension Obsidian? He had a monster series, but this time in game number 1, it was Beastlance, the Callista god, the mid-league vet, who took over. It's going to be an exciting game number 2. Don't click out of that browser. Necrox and Icarus are ready and waiting on the Rift. We have Game 2 coming to you guys in just a bit.
Welcome back, everyone, here to Summoner's Rift. I am joined by Icarus, and my name is Necrox for Game 2 between CB Rush and Death Cards Academy. Game 1, man, it was a fiesta. It was a banger. Whatever synonym you want to come up with for absolute chaos. But this time, I'm hoping we slow down the pace, at least for the likes of Death Cards Academy, play to your win conditions, and really get your names up there because they had a chance to take down the #1 seed, Icarus.
Yeah, I think my favorite analogy that I'm going to go with, it was an absolute shooting range out here for CB Rush. They were struggling a little bit early, but they kept making pick after pick after pick after pick after pick. And when we saw the side of Death Cards Academy group up at that second dragon, we saw a very successful team fight for them. But this time around, I'm hoping to see that they continue to play towards that style, because in the last series, outside of that one successful team fight, they really did not find a whole lot for themselves, because they just constantly were getting picked off by one person or another, and a lot of that coming from the hands of Frosty, who this time is piloting another great pick champion in the middle lane, this time arguably even more annoying on the Zoe.
Yeah, from playing out of vision on the Lux, landing random bindings, this time you land a bubble. It's just as deadly on the Zoe and can even pressure you from further range away. So would love to see what Frosty can do on this champion. Extremely skill expressive. On the other end of that matchup, though, Patrick Jones will have the Lee Sin, is indexed into a teleport for a little bit more of map pressure, but just as skill expressive, if not even more. And honestly, everyone in this game is headed in that direction. Beastlance on a Callisto, one of the most skillful champions in the game. He had an absolute showing in game one, and I expect nothing less this time around with the exact same lane. This time, though, Cthulhu is on the Karma, trying his best to put down pressure, but he just loses half of his health bar from a quick Hail of Blades trade from Beastlance.
Yeah, that's a painful Hail Blades trade for Cthulhu, but I want to take a quick look at this top side of the map. Thugnuggler with this Poppy pick. We talked about it a little bit in the draft prep, but it's something that I'm super excited to see here for the side of CDA. We do have a little bit of level 2 trade going on here.
Ooh, flash away from Cthulhu, barely keeping himself alive at the bot side, and CBR already showing their dominant stuff here in the bot lane, looking to keep things high octane and high tempo off the back of their win in game one.
And that's not what you want to be seeing for Death Cards Academy here. They do have a little bit better of a scaling composition here. They want to let mainly this Poppy try and come online here. Thugnuggler piloting that Yordle in the top lane is going to be such a huge win condition for Death Cards Academy here, because if you're able to get into that backline, get on top of Beastlance, and then throw up that steadfast presence, all of a sudden Nelson, Beastlance, they're not able to stick together. They're not able to help each other out. And more importantly, this Callista gets stopped in her tracks trying to bounce around, and when her movement speed is slowed from the grounding effect of Thugnuggler's steadfast presence, that's also going to affect her total attack speed unless she opts to stand completely still, and something that not a whole lot of Callistas have mastery over. So that will really be putting Beastlance to the test in this series, and I already like to see how aggressive Thugnuggler is taking these trades into Rutledge on the top side of the map, because in the last game we did see him struggle quite a bit on that Gwen, and so this time around seeing him get some early trades is feeling real good for the side of Death Cards Academy.
Love to see Thugnuggler bouncing on to tank after tank and really showing that not all tanks are weak side members. As I so often like to say, Galaki getting engaged on a bot side. Ignite will go down, but there's no damage. They're going to come through. The tether connects all the way through into the root. Nelson coming out on a real bad end of that trade. Beastlance not too far away from his health bar. The slow is in. Galaki lands the isolated Decathy in rain. Meanwhile, on the bot side river, the rest of the team wants to fight. In comes Zin Zhao, flashing away back to it. First blood's going to go the way of Patrick Jones. Might be traded back, though, by Acid. The jungler's back into the starting lineup, but he will not make a difference. Cthulhu grabs a second kill, and DCA finds 2-0.
And this is the kind of opener we need to be seeing from DCA here. Fantastic collapse coming in by Patrick Jones, but more importantly, this bot lane priority coming in from Death Cards Academy. Galaki, Meep, and Uwu for Cthulhu had the lane prio and had the minion wave still shoving into their opponents, so there was no opportunity for Nelson and Beastlance to rotate over towards that river fight. Cthulhu shows up, he gets the shields, he gets the damage, and he picks up the second kill around that dragon pit, even before the dragon has an opportunity to spawn, which is going to give them a fat 2,000 gold lead to start this game off. And it is oh so important to keep in mind that half of that, the first blood gold especially, is going over to Patrick Jones on this melee matchup in the mid lane.
And while you might look at that fight and wonder, well, why are you taking it with a numbers advantage? It's all because of Cthulhu and Galaki getting enough pressure in bot side to get the Karma roam up. The shields make the difference, just like you were saying, Icarus. And all of a sudden, DCA have a 2-kill lead. They got themselves a gold lead for it, and they're going to have priority over this next objective to come up. Yasset is trying to clear out as much vision as possible, and he's going to start this one up, though. I'm not sure this one belongs to you. Galaki going to have to reset, and with Sterling Archer on top side, It's actually CB Rush that will take this one merely off the pace they have built for themselves, as they're going to grab their first Infernal Drake of the game.
That is a great call on the pathing that Sterling Archer would naturally want to take towards the top side of the map here. He didn't have any camps up available on his bottom side, so they had a feeling he'd go towards top side, and we can see that the Acid only does have those Raptors available and is ignoring his entire top side of the map. This is going to allow for Sterling Archer to come in and steal these camps away. He has about a 10 CS lead here, and it's going to continue to grow that once he takes away these camps, because he's already done his full rotations of his side of the jungle. And this is really where we see the strengths of Diana come in, and where this early kill lead is putting in so much work here for Death Cards Academy. He's able to get in here, but he might be caught out by Acid.
Yeah, I didn't want to see him go for this other camp. His lanes don't have the priority for it. It was a base in from Fugnugler, but he's actually getting the first move. Here comes the Moonfall on Acid. It's a 1-for-1 Conqueror's proc for Acid. Remember, Archer had just won a skirmish in the bot side river, but this time he's caught out, and Archer will drop on down. Rutledge is going to grab kill number one. Here comes the bubble from across the rift, and good night, Fugnugler. CB Rush grabbed themselves 2 more kills, and they'll even the kill count.
Oh no, it's a little bit too greedy from Sterling Archer there. He gets punished for trying to go for that Wolf's camp. I appreciate trying to take away everything in the kitchen sink, but sometimes you don't have the strength just quite yet. Sterling Archer was not the person with the kills, and as you mentioned, he did not have the prio in any of his lanes, so it is going to be the immediate rotation coming in from Frosty and Rutledge that get there first. Fuglugner tried to make his way over there, but he ends up giving his life over as well, and suddenly that gold lead that was in favor of Death Cards Academy is shut back down. It is put down to an even game here, about only 500 gold difference. We still have priority on the bottom side of the map though, and that is going to be huge here, as Sterling Archer is going to be able to clear out his bot side rotation. Might look for something of an invade once again here, because they are looking to get some deep ward coverage.
Trying to go forward. Flash in from Frosty. That was fake. Patrick Jones looking for the kick in return just to keep himself alive. Ignite is ticking. Minion damage coming through. Paddlestar will not be able to connect through the minion wave. So Patrick Jones taken down to what was double-digit HP there. Barely staying alive in the mid lane. And Frosty, man, these long-range mages are putting in work. Taking trade after trade. Patrick doing well to keep himself ahead in CS for now, as the roam from Archer does come through to help his mid laner push that wave and get a recall in. Top side, Rutledge and Nugler going back and forth. His bot lane priority is still in. Just like you were saying, Galaki and Cthulhu doing a great job of pushing in this wave and trying to keep Beastlance in check, because this man has got hot hands from game number 1. Hopping forward, tower dive, making plays with Nelson left and right. And this time, Beastlance seems to be kept in check much better.
It is a little bit risky here, though, for the side of Death Cards Academy, because their bottom lane has been permanently shoving out this wave. It is the best opportunity for Cthulhu to try and get damage onto this enemy bot lane, but those wards aren't quite as deep as I would want them to be from the flash and dash gauge potential from Acid. He does show up mid, though.
Ooh, that bubble, if it clipped through the wall, that may have been a kill, but Frosty not able to secure it. Keeping an eye on where Acid is headed now. It might just be bot side, or looking for an invasive zone. Fugnugler needs to be very careful, though. The tackle will not get the turret aggro, and having to use that Keeper's Verdict just to keep himself alive. Solo kill will not come through, but Nugler needs to be careful. Maybe it's Rutledge. The gank is in. Archer is going to find the way, and there's that W, baby. Do not pass as Sterling Archer grabs himself the first kill of the game.
Do not collect $200 as well there, as Sterling Archer is going to be able to want to pick that up. And I do like to see that kill going over to the Diana jungler. We've seen Sterling Archer play so aggressively this game so far, going in for these deep invades. We see double pink wards on that top side of the map as well here. So I 100% expect that Sterling Archer is going to start playing towards this top side of the map with his bottom lane constantly shoving in. And this is going to be only beneficial for the side of Death Cards Academy. Ooh, a bit of a cheeky bubble that will mean a bad trade for Jones, but it's not going to mean the end of the world, as we do have Sterling Archer starting up this Rift Herald, a great use of the priority that they have on the top side of the map with Rutledge dead. However, a bit scary here because Nugler did decide to back off. So if this gets seen out here, it could mean a fight for CB Rush.
Archer going to start this one up. Acid, is he going to head into the river? Going to channel his recall, actually, looking for priority, or at least first move on that Drake that's spawning in 20 seconds. Already has number 1, so good prioritization of objectives, but Archer focused on gold. Has picked up that Rift Herald for the likes of DCA, so waiting to see where that one's going to be put down. And they could use that one to get priority over this objective, Icarus. It would be nice to see. Here comes the resonating strike from Patrick Jones. Paddlestar on the return end won't be able to find the mark, but Archer waiting in the wings to put down this Rift Herald. Does he decide to pop it, though? The answer is no. They're just going to simply move on over to this river.
Ooh, keep your eyes out bottom lane here. CBR Acid, he's trying to step up. That's going to be the Callisto Fate's call.
Knock up onto Galaki, trying to get away. The engage is not enough. Double flash, but there's the stun. It was procced onto the concussive blows, and Beastlance has got his first kill. Now the re-engage is in. Moonfall is going to find 2 members. The damage is massive, but he just can't move. Having to flash away. Teleport committed for the likes of CB Rush. I mean, the engage is just not enough, but Beastlance falls on over, trading away for the likes of Sterling Archer as Cthulhu falls in return. Double kill to the TP top laner. Rutledge coming up big on the back end of that play. Fugnuggler not able to respond as Frosty, man. Good lord, that champion looks stupid, but Dragon is all but an afterthought.
Dragon will finally be secured here after everything being used in the bottom lane. Fugnuggler is trying to get as much as he can on the top side, but we have to keep an eye on the real winner of this fight, which is Rutledge here. 3-1-1 on the Silas at the end of the day. Has the teleport available for that play and is able to show up on the bottom side, getting himself a double kill, whereas Fugnuggler, he is just now getting his teleport available and he was not able to join that fight. So with CB Rush able to show up on the bottom side of the map, they're the ones that called to take that fight, and they had Acid already set up for the gank for the gank on the side there. Cthulhu steps up as he's been doing all game so far. Galaki and Cthulhu have been shoving this lane just so hard, and this is the one time they didn't have that ward coverage in the enemy tri-bush, and they get punished for it.
Such a good response there from CB Rush. Quick on the teleport. Everyone shows up at the time needed, and even though Sterling Archer had that Rift Herald, had basically immediate priority in any lane necessary, they simply can't find the angle for it, and CB Rush are quick on the trigger, and that is why they are ranked #1 here in XLNC Mid League. They are the team to always find the first move, always quick to be able to make the play. As again, Acid looking for something in bot lane. Ward's going to be cleared away, so Acid could look, but with the wave shoved in, I'm not sure that you want to go for this dive. Karma is one of those few champions that you simply have to be wary about. Getting turned around, hopping forward is Nelson. Cthulhu might be in a little bit of danger. The knockup, that is a solo kill, basically, from the likes of AoE Beastlance. Yes, the CC comes through from Nelson, but all that damage, man, that was Beastlance. 2v2 stuff looking great.
Yeah, but I can't help but notice that Acid is still sitting bottom side. Meanwhile, Archer has been able to do his entire bottom side rotation. He's able to pick up his red buff. He is now going in towards the top side of the map with Sterling Archer, and he could, or with Patrick Jones, and they could be setting up a 3-man dive here with this Rift Herald that's about to drop. Not going to be able to pick up those platings, so a little late on the Shelly spawn of their own. But keep in mind that Sterling Archer this entire time is able to fire up his camps. He's now able to make a play on the top side of the map. And for all that time the Acid spent bottom side, he doesn't get even an assist. He now has to catch up and farm. He loses first brick. And at the end of the day, Death Cards Academy are the ones that are coming out with the gold lead here because of it. They have an 800 gold advantage. And yes, your bottom lane is starting to pull ahead. But if Beastlance is the only person that is pulling ahead here because of that play, well, I'm still looking at Fugnuggler. He's still going to be a tank at the end of the day, and when he's getting assistance from his team, he's going to be putting in a lot of work to keep this Callista in one place.
And that was Sterling Archer with the damage on top, which is basically point and click. All you need to do is go E into R. You don't even need to land the Q. Sure, you could get the E reset if you want, but you don't need to by any means if you're just looking to lock down Beastlance, and they're certainly going to want to do exactly that. Acid taking a lot of damage to the back end of this one. Has to use the ulti, but here comes the melee range Kaisa, and now Fugnuggler's arrived to play with a nice TP. Has a Keeper's Verdict. Not able to get enough damage onto Beastlance, who hopped his way over the wall, but the support simply cannot follow. Rooted, stunned, locked into place. Fate's Call going to get him out just in time, but uh-oh, Beastlance is going back over the wall. Why'd you do that, man? You had the escape like Houdini, but instead you look like a fool, and Beastlance will get himself and his support killed. All of a sudden, DCA find a 4-0.
The only thing more tragic than coming over the wall there if you're Beastlance is the fact that Cthulhu finds both of those kills and Rutledge is about to play cleanup here. The flash, the Everfrost.
Goodbye, Cthulhu, getting a little bit greedy for the vision. So at least CB Rush gets something on the back end of the play, but DCA bite back.
DCA is just getting so much out of that play too. You don't need to overforce there. Acid just feels like he has to make something happen in the bottom lane, but now he's 40 CS down. He gave over a kill. He gave over 3 at the end of the day with Beastlance and Nelson going in, and they didn't have prio in their mid and top side of the map because they knew that their jungler was elsewhere. Because of that, you still have 2 turrets that have been picked up here for DCA, and you didn't even complete the turret in the bottom side of the map when you forced that dive oh so hard for the side of CB Rush. Fantastic punish coming in here from the Death Cards Academy squad. They're going to try to force more in the mid.
Kick onto Beastlance for the Dragon's Rage. Frosty is low, but he's going to get himself away. Nelson throwing up the Unbreakable. TP's in from Ledge. Has a kick of his own, but it's just not enough for now. Everfrost going to keep him alive. Bugnuggler in the back end looking to do as much as he can, but he's in the middle of 3 members. He has to be able to walk away. The Rend isn't going to be able to find the mark. It's a flash over the wall. Cthulhu's going to be the first one to drop. Acid has showed up to the fight just in time to find the support, who now has 4 deaths. What does the re-engage look like? In they go with the Resonating Strike. Acid using that ulti, but oh man, the damage from Archer just wipes away everyone. Triple kill in a one-shot combo. Jones finds number 4, and number 5 isn't too far away, but Nelson will get a ticket back to safety from Bugnuggler's ulti. What was that from Archer, though?
Sterling Archer, ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend coming in with a 5-man moonfall there. You are asking what the re-engage looks like, and a Diana ultimate is going to be your answer. It is going to secure the first dragon of the game for Death Cards Academy here, and it's going to secure them a whole lot of gold, as well as they are now 4,000 gold in the lead. We finally see a commanding side of this game here for Death Cards Academy. They're also going to be able to shove in all their waves. They get some deep ward coverage, and they're going to be able to reset off the back of all of that. A little too far forward here for Patrick Jones. I think he might actually be caught out.
Knock up, re-engage for Jones, trying to find his way in, but look at Beastlance just kite him around so beautifully. Another kill to this Kalista. Shutdown gold will be given over as well. So an extra paycheck, though, going to Beastlance after all the dust settles. A little too aggressive there from Patrick, maybe feeling himself after that last play, but Sterling Archer, man, is one we have to commemorate because that was beautiful on the Diana. You were looking for an engage, you were looking for damage on top of Bugnuggler's ability to keep that Kalista in place, and Archer executes to a T for this side of DCA. Upcoming, though, everyone should be keeping themselves nice and quiet. The only objective on the board is this Rift Herald, and Archer wants that angle. Everfrost gonna find the mark in mid lane, though. Galaki's been caught out, having to use the Killer Instinct to escape. Bugnuggler coming in with the Keeper's Verdict to everyone kept away. Archer's in the middle of 2. Beastlance is taken down to 1 HP immediately from a nice moonfall, but Sterling Archer's going to be kicked away from this fight. A little bit too much damage now coming in onto Acid. He'll be able to kite away as well. Cthulhu keeping the squad healthy enough to feel as if they could go for one more engage. Archer will not land the final Q. So everyone disengages and everyone keeping themselves alive.
Again, we're seeing another team fight that's being set up here for DCA where they don't have everyone available at the very start of the fight, but Sterling Archer is coming in with these Moonfall engages and is making it look so good for the side of Death Cards Academy. Big thing I want to call out, though, is that Patrick Jones was not in that fight from the very beginning because he had just been previously picked off, and this is really what can make or break the difference between being that top tier 1 top seed of the tournament, or you're going to be that second, third seed fighting for the second and third place spots in going into playoffs here, is your ability to reset after these team fights. I need to see DCA clean it up just a little bit when it comes to these post-team fight situations. Yes, you're getting some amazing setups with Sterling Archer around these dragons or in that mid lane play there, but it is not enough to be able to win a team fight based off of a great couple of ultimates, based off of a great couple of combos. You have to be able to play the macro game, the reset game, and continue to grow that lead safely without giving over these shutdown kills, because Beastlance was able to get that extra gold out of Patrick Jones. And again, we're finding ourselves in the situation where Beastlance is starting to get a couple of items up onto Galaki Meep. He has the Hurricane, he has that shield bow. Ooh, bottom lane.
Patrick misses the final Q. That would have been a kill onto Frosty, a solo in the side lane, but instead Frosty simply gets to walk away. Tragic there for this Lee Sin. Maybe take the blindfold off next time and you can land that resonating strike, but instead Frosty will simply have to walk away from this turret. Patrick should be able to finish this one off with the upcoming wave, especially with the support of Sterling Archer, plus the bot lane now moving down, looking to grab this final tier 1. Acid needs to walk away from this one, but I'm not sure he knows the rest of the team is coming down. Here comes a teleport in. Everyone's showing up to this one. Double TP's committed. Acid is in a little bit of trouble. The moonfall is there, and goodbye, man. There's just no way you survive. Plus the TP cancel onto Rutledge. DCA come up massive. They get big cooldowns for it, and now they're looking for a little bit more with the Shirelius popped. Here comes the Fate's Call. Knock up onto 4 members. Double knock up onto 4 members from Nelson. He finds massive CC, but what does the fight look like? Only Tujulu to fall for now. Sterling Archer will fall in the back end of the fight onto Rutledge, who gets himself kill number 5. Now looking for more onto Gallic, who's caught out without his team. On the run are DCA.
Oh my goodness there. Rutledge, he wasn't able to get the teleport off to save Acid, but he saves the fight in other ways by finding himself a couple of kills and a solo bolo versus Sterling Archer on the top side of the map. Great steadfast presence in order to keep him out here. That should secure Patrick Jones and Thug Nuggler to safety. One last battle star will do a good chunk of damage, but it's not going to be able to secure the kill for anyone on the side of CB Rush here. But man, what a chaotic game we have just when we think that Death Cards Academy are just seizing control of this game, when they're able to finally close out CB Rush's potential to fight, their potential to win this game. They just pull something out of the hat. They always seem to have one more play here.
Looking for one more play on Lee Sin. They hijack Dragon's Rage. Will be available. Flash over the wall for Cthulhu. Patrick was trying to find something there in order to get priority over this Drake, but instead it's Archer that's going to get one shot. He's taken so low, having to flash himself away, but goodbye Archer. There's no jungler. Meanwhile, Dragon has already gone down, knocked up from that fissure. Will find Cthulhu. He's taken low and taken down. Acid will find kill number 3. Bubble over the wall. Will connect, but it's just not enough distance for Frosty to be able to close the gap. CB Rush grab Dragon number 3, and they're the ones on Soul Point.
While all this was going on, all this fighting around the bottom side of the map, the Dragon did spawn, and fortunately for CB Rush, they were able to take the last winning portion of that fight. They set up for this Dragon right away, and again, we're just finding another situation where it feels like CB Rush is the team that is constantly grouped together here and making picks as a 5-man unit. We're almost never seeing a full-on engage coming in from DCA.
As we say that, though, DCA finds a quick pick onto Beastlance for another extra bit of gold. DCA find their moment. They commit Fugnuggler's flash, and they get the AD carry. That's the main sustained damage for the side of CBU Rush. Plus, most of their wave clear, so it could be siege time here for DCA, or it could just be a Baron attempt.
Might be a Baron attempt here. I think it's a little overzealous because they will be walking over this Scuttle Crab. It will be seen here. So Acid does complete that back, however, and it's being melted down a lot faster than anybody on the side of CB Rush is able to think. So that will be the Baron picked up here by the side of Death Cards Academy. It's going to be a great sneak away there. This is finally the kind of play that I need to be seeing from DCA, but it always feels like they're making these plays right off of the back of CB Rush making a play. They're using their opportunities when they know their opponent is resetting or when their abilities are down. I don't know if we have yet seen an actual 5-on fight this game where both teams come in with all of their summoners, with all of their ultimates available here. And this game being as close as it is, I don't know which one of these teams is going to win the first full 5-on-5 team fight.
For now, we're getting a 2-on-1 flash away from Rutledge in top lane. Archer looking to close the distance with that gap closer. Flash away from Galaxy as well from the Fates call, throwing in Nelson. Flash for flash. Both carries losing one. Galaxy will lose his along with Rutledge, but everyone keeping themselves alive. As much as I want to see that full-on 5v5 as well, like Chris, I don't think CB Rush want to contest this next Dragon. I think they just want to hold away from the Baron-empowered Siege. As long as they can hold on to their base throughout the next couple of minutes, I think they'll be happy. Giving away just a Mountain Drake to DCA doesn't feel as bad as going for that full-on team fight and then losing everything. Could be a game-ending fight if they make a mistake. So CB Rush have gotten enough early priority and enough early objectives to forego this Drake as DCA lay on the siege.
Fortunately for CB Rush, it is still another 2 minutes until that Mountain Dragon is going to spawn, and Baron is about halfway through here. We have not seen a whole lot of advantages being picked up yet here for the side of Death Cards Academy, despite the fact that they do have this Baron, however, and a lot of that comes down to the fact that Base Lance is just so strong alongside Rutledge here. You're trying to get the 1-4 split push going on here, but Nuggler can't fight this Rutledge. He's not strong enough, and he hasn't built any MR outside of that Sunfire's Aegis to begin with. He has a completed Thornmail. He has the the steel cap plates. My apologies. I don't know why they had to rename that item, but they thought it was necessary. But there's still no MR here on the side for Fugnug, or at least no dedicated MR item. And when you're facing off against a Zoe and versus a Silas, you want to have some kind of magic resistance available, and it means that he's not able to take these fights versus Rutledge, and instead Silas is just continuously farming up these waves. He's catching all the pressure, and the same thing is going on in the middle lane with Beast Lance, with this Kalista that has the completed Hurricane, is working on that third item, actually has the Last Whisper alongside that BF sword, so needing that armor penetration to deal with Fugnugler, and then looking towards that Bloodthirster most likely as well here. And we're just finding ourselves back in game one here. Slowly but surely, DCA are finding some good team fights, but at the end of the day, the members on the side of CB Rush that are pulling ahead are the most important members in Rutledge, in Beast Lance. These two carries for the team are showing up big once again.
All right, you set us up perfectly for this next Drake fight that could be breaking out in about 20 seconds. Baron is expired, so CB Rush feel comfortable stepping up to this one, but they need to be careful. Sterling Archer, time and time again, has come up big on this Diana. You need to be wary. Rutledge going to take away that Moonfall ulti, so he's got damage now that you need to be wary about. One other member keep your eyes on certainly is Beast Lance. Fugnugler going on to the backside on Beast Lance, who cannot use that martial poise, but maybe has gone a little bit too far. Keeper's verdict to keep Beast Lance away. Lots of spears stacked up, but for now the disengage comes through. Rutledge looking for Galaxy. He's caught out. No, he's in trouble. He's dead immediately. Fugnugler trying to get his carry to safety, but he just can't do it. He's in the middle of 5 members, certainly going to drop now as Rutledge picks up a double kill. Archer goes golden, but only to buy a little bit of time for nothing as Beast Lance grabs number 3. DCA lose their carry, and they lose everyone else in the process. CB Rush get Drake number 4. That is Mountain Soul.
Beast Lance had the flash available, he had the heal available, and the Keeper's call as well. So unfortunate there for Fugnugler as he tries to go in, but more importantly, he goes in without anybody on his team really being in a posture to help him out. So it feels like he went in, he gets all this, uses all of his abilities, is able to finally get Beast Lance isolated, but then there's no follow-up. Galaxy Meep tries to walk up, but he doesn't have a front line because Sterling Archer and Patrick Jones are still off to the side, and instead he gets picked off there at the start of that fight. And when your AD carry goes down, there is not a whole lot of team fight left for the side of Death Cards Academy here. Sterling Archer, Patrick Jones, and everyone else just trying to find an opportunity to get onto Beast Lance, but they don't have the damage to follow up by that point. They are fighting a 4v5, and it will mean that the Dragon Soul is going to be secured here, and now it is up to Death Cards Academy to try and find their win condition once more, as there's not going to be another Mountain Dragon on the map for them. Instead, they're going to have to look towards this Elder Drake if they want to try and continue to win this game.
Having to look towards Elder Drake or the Baron now is the formula for Death Cards Academy. There are no more dragons to be spawned, of course, but CB Rush had done such a good job of getting Drake after Drake that this one is not too late. It's not like we're deep into the late game. We're only 30 minutes in. So the late game scaling is still coming through. You can see Galaxy opting towards that LDR second item, keeping his Serrated Dirk in inventory, maybe a collector. Thinking about that one a little bit later on. Beastlance already at 3.5 items though. The carry differential is massive, 50 CS up, 7 kills up as well. Beastlance has so much gold to work with. And you could say the same thing about Rutledge, who has a Horizon focus, working on Rabadons as well, plus the safety of Azanias. These two members will run over team fights if you allow them, but if you get picked off in a side lane, that's not a way to start off the end game, as maybe it's a return play by Rutledge, stealing away the Moonfall. Both members going to go golden for now. Fugnuggler trying to keep him locked up into place, but here comes Galaxy to finish off the kill. It's claimed by Archer, but on the other end of the rift is Patrick Jones getting caught out with a knockup from Acid. Paddle Star not able to find the mark, but the bubble is. Patrick taken so low, but the Baron has started up. Icarus, this is danger.
This might be danger, but I don't think they're going to be able to finish this one because the rest of Death Cards Academy, they've rotated over. They know this one's happening. The Baron will reset here, but the tensions are high. Rutledge is down for another 30 seconds. This is your opportunity if you are CDA here. You need to take this fight, but Patrick Jones just went back to bake. He might be looking for a teleport flank. That is going to be their one win condition here, is if they get a team fight victory, they can get the Baron and they can seize control of this map, but it is so well disengaged by CB Rush here that there is nothing for Death Cards Academy to collapse upon. They are able to get that shutdown gold put into the hands of Sterling Archer, but at this stage of the game, it's not going to be enough. You have the Mountain Soul, you have a full tank Acid on this Xin Zhao, who's now going to be diving onto the backline and just absorbing so much pressure from the opponents, and now that Rutledge is back on the map, it's going to be CB Rush trying to start this fight again.
Every one of those bubbles, man, every skill shot thrown out can make the difference between a Baron play or not. And I thought maybe DCA would be able to force that fight around the Baron pit, but instead, CB Rush respect the potential and they'll walk away. Now is where real items start to be built. Guardian Angel in for Patrick Jones, but we're going straight back to the Baron. Nelson and Beastland start this one up. Basically a two-man effort. Rutledge finally joining the prey, but Cthulhu smells something. He's trying to get vision. Jones is here as well. Baron already down to about half HP. They might have caught Death Guards Academy sleeping at the wheel. Bubble is going to land on Jones. Archer needs to find a way into the pit, but instead it might just be an engage. Acid's going forward. Here we go. Fate's call available if they want to find the extra bit of engage. There they go. Going to pull back Nelson into the call for now. Nuggler on the front line. He's here with everyone else. Archer's going to find a little bit of damage. Acid flashing away out of the Moonfall. Nuggler going to be taken so low. He's going to be taken down. The first one to fall. Archer is the next on the menu. He will drop 2-0 so far. Jones able to trade it back onto the enemy mid laner. Frosty 5 no longer in the fight. Those bubbles no longer a threat, but CBR straight back onto this Baron.
And it's a 2-for-1 at the end of the day. My big question is, where is the Grievous Wounds with only Cthulhu building that Hextech Purifier? Not enough members on the side of DCA.
Over the wall, Galaxy flashing away. Nelson here getting the concussive blow stacked up. Guardian Angel will go down onto Jones, but he's in the middle of everyone. His team is just not around in time. Shutdown to Beastland. CB Rush have gotten everyone at some point caught out, and now it would have to be a miracle from Cthulhu or Galaxy. Does he have it? The smite is not available for Acid. You have to be careful, but it's secured by Beastlands with a beautiful rend. That's smite number 2. Wave was cut off in mid lane. Meanwhile, for Galaxy, they bought a little bit of time, but now it's CB Rush with the Baron.
CB Rush, I think they have all but secured their way into a victory for game 2 here. Elder Dragon is going to be spawning in about 35 seconds, but if that Baron has taught me anything, it is that CB Rush is just too damn tanky here. Look at the itemization coming in from Acid. The only AP damage he really has to worry about is going to be Sterling Archer, but as long as Diana is not catching him out, he has enough health, and there's enough auto attacks coming in from this Diana with using that passive that it doesn't really matter the fact that he is built 4 armor items. Galaxy is not going to be doing anything to him. Patrick Jones is not going to be doing any damage. Cthulhu is just going to get picked off here with Elder Dragon spawning, and he's going to be down for 40 seconds. The bubble!
Man, Frosty! One shot C80 carry, and the bot lane from DCA is dead. And you wanted to talk about a miracle steal before. Now Sterling has to be an angel from above if you want a DCA win tonight. 2,600 left on it. Flash over the wall, but you cannot secure it. Frosty will go down. Golden is this archer, but angels do not sing tonight for DCA as CB Rush take both legendary buffs. A Mountain Soul, and they're headed straight down mid lane.
You don't get any stronger than this if you're CB Rush, not because you don't have item slots, but because you end the game right here, right now. Baron empowered minions, Elder Dragon, and a Mountain Soul. You cannot get much stronger than this unless you have 6 items in your slot. That's going to be the first inhibitor turret being taken down. That's going to be the first inhibitor being pressured this game as well. And with how strong CB Rush are, they could be looking to hit these Nexus turrets once this next wave starts to arrive. Flash forward from Silas.
Galaky's just taken down under assurance. You thought you were safe under your Nexus, but my friend Rutledge, this is his territory now. Nuggler trying to disengage. The wave has been cut off. It's a re-engage by Patrick Jones, but where are you going, my friend? That's a team with Elder buff. This is not your fight to take. In goes Sterling Archer trying to make a play on the back end. He'll get one, but at what cost? Your Nexus was the next target. Nuggler will drop. Triple kill to Rutledge. 13, 3, and 8, a full-on ace for CB Rush in game number 2. They will finally drop the Nexus at just over 36 minutes, and they'll grab themselves 2 games back-to-back. Now DCA needs something in game 3 to turn it around.
And like I said, you just cannot kill the members of CB Rush. Their 5-man unit is so strong whenever they decide to group together. And we see that Beastlance, we can't even find where he is in any of these team fights because Acid and Nelson are doing such a good job of constantly body blocking this Kalista. And when you have that shield load, you have the Bloodthirster available, it does not matter how much you throw at them from the side of DCA alongside that Mountain Soul. The sustainability is just too damn high for the side of CB Rush. They take away this commanding victory here, and they're going to be able to be walking into game 3 with their heads held high as they know they've already won the series. But that doesn't mean it's all over for DCA just yet, because they still have an opportunity to show that they can meet the likes of Bucky Stratosphere here and take a game for themselves.
38,000 damage for Rutledge. The next highest was Sterling Archer at 31,000. Rutledge had a great performance in game 1, and it just got better for this top laner for CB Rush. Everyone coming up big when necessary. There was a little bit of sloppiness in the early game, but that ship had sailed and the train had turned around for CB Rush in game number 2. For now, we're going to head straight to an interview provided by none other than your analyst. We'll be right back after this with Draft for game number 3.
I am Cam Comet. I am here interviewing Patrick Jones from Death Cards Academy. You are playing against CB Rush this week. They are currently sitting at first place, currently 14-1. You're second place at 10-5. So how are you doing today? What's your name, role on the team, and what are your favorite champions to play right now?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Patrick Jones. I'm the mid laner for Death Cards Academy. My favorite champions right now is Viego. I've been playing him a bit. For now, I'm pretty excited for him to be available again this week. I hope I can get some games with it. As for CB Rush, yes, they definitely doing really well so far, but I've looked at the matchups they've been through so far. They've only played one top 5 team. And they have some tough matchups coming up the next few weeks, and I expect them to drop some games starting Wednesday against us.
So just a little bit more about yourself. How long have you been playing League, and how long have you been a part of Death Cards?
Oh, I've been playing League since 2012, I believe.
Oh.
Just between Hecarim and Varus were coming out.
Nice.
I remember that. And I've been part of Dev Cards for a couple of months. We've created this team recently. I mean, the roster is new because then before that there were 5 different people playing on Dev Cards Academy. So we've been playing together for a couple of months, and it's been going pretty well. I can feel it with every single game that we're getting better and better with all times.
We're on to CB Rush, so they're currently sitting at first place. How do you feel specifically going against them to this week?
I'm really excited. I feel like this is a matchup between 2 of the top 3 teams because I consider us, CB Rush and Fever, to be like the top of the top. Uh, and I'm pretty excited. I think if we want to get the top two, which is you get first round bye this way. If you want to get top two, those are must-win games. Like we have to win this set, or we just can't get to top two regular season. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited, and I hope to take a couple of games off of them.
Yeah, definitely. So CB Rush is currently sitting on a 13-game winning streak right now in XLNC. So what do you plan on doing differently to the other teams to try and break that winning streak?
Oh well, we're just gonna pressure them. We're not gonna allow them to take any objectives they want. We're just gonna pressure them on every single thing they try to do. And like I've seen in the stats, they really like their Rift Heralds and use them to break open those lanes. And we're just not gonna let them do that this easily as they did in the previous weeks.
Yeah, that's definitely very important, is to not let them get those objectives. So is there any particular player on CB Rush that you're really worried about playing against?
I feel like their top laners really good. Fug also has a lot of respect for their top laner. I'm looking forward for this matchup because I feel like this will be the two of the top laners in the league playing against each other. So even from as a fan, I would love to see that matchup.
Yeah, definitely. So your only future games after this week in before playoffs are against Bucky's and Alventus. So are those matchups that you're particularly worried about in the future?
To be honest, I've been worried about Bakis before, like early in the season, right? But they've had 0-3 series against Fever, so I'm not really worried about them too much anymore. Eleventus, they're hyping up their bot lane, and maybe their bot lane is good, but have you guys seen our bot lane? Galaki and Wu for Cthulhu? These guys are smurfs.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely agree there. All right, so where do you plan on going with Death Cards or just esports in general after XLNC Mid League finishes this season?
Oh, I have no idea. We're just focusing on what's in front of us right now, which is XLNC season, and we hope to do as best as we can. And then we'll, after the season's ended, we'll look what's the next challenge for us. For now, we're just focusing on this league.
So do you have any last closing shoutouts or anything else, last words that you'd like to say?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out my team. They're playing really well. I'm really proud of you guys. You're playing really good. And obviously, shout out Alan, our team owner. We love you, Alan.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you for sitting down with this quick little interview with me. I hope you do really well in your games on this week 6 today against CB Rush. So hopefully we will see a win before or after this interview plays during the games on Wednesday. So hopefully see you there.
All right, I'll see you there.